the next 60 seconds, we will mark the hour when it was cold, when it was dark. Maybe there was a little rain. People were hustling and bustling up and down Dexter Avenue. Black people walked on the street, and if they faced a white person, they had to move to the side and let them pass. If they boarded the bus, they had to drop their dime and get off and go back to the rear of the bus on the side and enter. If they sat in a seat and the bus became crowded, they had to give up their seat if a white person needed it. They had to most times stand. It is 6 o'clock, listen. You hear the bells? Let us bow our heads in silence. "60 seconds to represent 60 years, the bells toll throughout the capital of the state of Alabama, Montgomery, because here we stand. Stand on holy ground. Here we stand on grounds where people marched for 364 days after the arrest of Rosa Parks, where they walked and did not ride the bus, even though they had to travel to many corners of the city. We pause as the bells toll for 60 seconds, representing 60 years. But we have not forgotten. And at this time, I'd like to bring to the podium, just before our invocation, we'd like to bring Mr. Robert James, who is the president of the Montgomery Improvement Association, which was formed just after the arrest of Rosa Parks. Mr. Robert James.
Appreciate you. Good evening, everybody. We appreciate you coming tonight and sharing this great event with us. And tonight has got to be one of those moments that you capture in time that you cannot see anymore. And so we want to cherish the moment, cherish the day, and cherish your presence. And as I go to my feet, after thanking you for coming tonight, we want you to look at the young people around you, offer them an opportunity to challenge them to be everything they want to be and dream and follow that dream, and surely something will come out of it. It is an honor for me to serve as your 6th president of the Montgomery Improvement Association. We've had only 6 down through the years since 1955. It's an honor that I'm sure, as the time, few moments I spent with Dr. King several days in the barber shop and on the corner of Key and Jackson Street, he'd be smiling now because he always told me, stay with that trombone, stay in school, and stay out of trouble. And that I did. So I got elevated to this point, serving after Ms. Carr's time before when she passed away. And I'm proud to serve you, and thank you for coming. And as we go out through this program, let's look for unity, 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 and thank God for your presence. Thank you tonight.
And now from the the Church of the Ascension, we bring you Pastor Thayer, the minister of the Church of Ascension, to give us our invocation.
Let's bow our heads and have just a moment. Gracious God, we thank you that your holy and your life-giving Spirit can so move and so open the human heart. And through people like Rosa Parks and all those that sacrificed to stand up for justice, to stand up for what was right, even though it cost them personally, we give you thanks that the barriers which divide us have started to crumble. We ask your continued blessing so that suspicions may disappear, so that our hatreds may cease, and that our divisions may be healed, and that through your holy and life-giving Spirit, we may live in justice and peace. Amen.
We thank you for that prayer, and we will proceed with a welcome of the selection from the Johnny E. R. Carr Middle School, named for Dr. Johnny Carr, who was a best friend to Miss Rosa Parks. The Johnny Carr Middle School will sing, and after their selection, we will have greetings from our wonderful mayor and the president of the county commission, Mr. Elton Dean. He will follow Mayor Todd Strange. Thank you, the choir.
Years ago, right here, a young lady, 5'3", gotten off of work, rode the bus, sitting where she's supposed to be. She did not give up her seat. In a soft voice, she said no. But that no resounded around the world to a yes for a better society and a better tomorrow. And we're here 60 years later celebrating and commemorating what not only Rosa Parks did, Colvette Colvin did, Fred Gray did, and all of the foot soldiers that we are honoring this week and thanking for their courageous act. Out of the mouths of youth. And I am so glad to see young people here, the choir, the activities that are going on this week, to tell the story to our young people, because that story needs to be told over and over and over again, so they will learn to appreciate the sacrifice that was made 60 years ago. We have an art exhibit that we will reveal tomorrow at City Hall. It's pictures of civil rights activities. I just happened today to walk the halls on the second floor, and the first piece I saw was a picture of the bus. It had black people in the bus, and they had a young black girl and a young white girl sitting in their seats. And in my new technology, I took a picture of that piece and the verbiage that went with it. And with your permission, let me read it to you. The inscription on that picture of the black girl and the white girl, 6 or 7 years of age, says, "I am a 7-year-old second grader at St. Mary's of Lawrence Catholic School. I ride a city bus from Highland Gardens to Dexter Avenue." This is written September 1955. That was what was written then. Then, in December of 55, she writes, "After the Christmas break, my mom says I will be carpooling to school. I don't know why. I will miss my friend." And then she goes on 60 years later, in September 2015, to write the following. "I have come to realize neither of us were aware of what was going on in the world outside of our bus, and were we aware of any differences between us. As I reflect, I can't help but wonder what has become of the little girl from so many years ago. Fondly, I recall that nice little girl who became my friend, but for a short while." The youth, black and white, Hispanic, Asian, playing in our front yards. It's the epitome of what Rosa Parks and all of her soldiers did that 60 years ago. And we're here to celebrate, to commemorate, and to pay honor to that great event. And as mayor of this city, we today are a different city than we were in 1955. And as so many of the speakers today have said, we have built bridges. We have built strong bridges, but we still have bridges to build. And it's our job, collectively, one another, united, to build those bridges so that we can all appreciate that shining city on the hill that we can all be delighted to call home. Thank you for being here tonight. On behalf of our city council, who just had a city council meeting, and we did earlier, as we get a chance, city council members, to unveil the new marker, a two-sided marker that will be dedicated to Rosa Parks, I would ask for you to join us. And Elton, I would like for you to join me as well, because today, at the ceremony that honored not only Fred Gray, but many others from the ABA and the NBA organization, it was told that we, in the 2015 timeframe, we shake our hands.
Good evening, everyone. I am Elton Dean, Chairman of the Montgomery County Commission. So I want to give a few orders that I would like to our elected officials, all elected officials. I see the probate judges, and Mr. Knight, and city council people. Will you please make your way to this stage? Please make your way to this stage. Let's show the young folk that we can be obedient. Putting you on the spot. They need to know who you are. City council members, judges. Lord Howard, will you come with them, please, sir? All right. Okay. All right. 1955, Montgomery did not look like this. It did not look like this. So I think what you need to do now is give your Montgomery of today a big round of applause. 1955, look at those beautiful young people up there and all dressed in black. They could not be down here on the square singing, "Thank you, Rosa Parks." Aren't they beautiful?
Yes, they are.
Every elected official you see up here, we invest in the youth of this community. We want you to know what's going on. We want you to know what happened back that time and let you know that it wasn't easy getting where we are now. It wasn't easy. People like Rosa Parks, people like Fred Gray and others, they fought that battle so we could be where we are tonight, today in 2015. So we don't want you to take it lightly. Some of you out there are going to take our place. And we want to make sure that you do the right thing. And like Hillary Rodham Clinton today said, you got to love and believe in justice. And we got to love each other. Black, white, Koreans, whatever it might be. We got to make sure that we hold hands, love each other, shake hands, and do the right thing. Not because we have the authority or we're elected officials, but we are doing it for you. Collectively, we are doing it for you. Rosa Parks did it for you. Fred Gray, who was 24 years old at the time that he represented Rosa Parks, he did it for you. And he's still standing. So tonight, we are recognizing Rosa Parks and also we are recognizing Fred Gray. So let's give him a big round of applause also. So on behalf of your 2015 elected officials, we love you. We want to continue to represent you. Let us know what you need, and we'll try our best to make sure it happens for you. And we do believe in our youth. We know that you are our future. So welcome on behalf of the Montgomery County Commission. Thank you, guys.
Chairman Dean understands how to pull a beautiful picture. That was just a remarkable moment to see. Standing next to you might have been a city councilman, might have been a county commissioner, might have been a member of the legislature, might have been a history maker, and every one of them are history makers, including our mayor and Chairman Dean. Chairman Dean has brought to us such leadership that we cannot even compliment or list this evening. And our mayor has been at every event and it lends his voice and the city's money to support whatever he can do for youth. So we're really proud to have such leadership. Let's give them another round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. And coming up now under the first selection by Principal Arstead's choir, directed by Miss Christine Moore. The principal is here, the director is here, parent are here. Let's hear the children sing, and then let's see a piece of history again revealed. Robert James made comments earlier as the new president of the Montgomery Improvement Association. But this man that we will hear, the honorable, legendary, foot soldier, legislative leader, judiciary leader, as a young man up until this day, 60 years later, still charged up, will make comments to us and give us his remarks. That will be followed by a closing prayer, those remarks followed by a closing prayer from the Church of Ascension pastor, again, here at the podium. And then we will move over to the marker. There will be a moment that I will call, and we have young men of leadership that will unveil that marker. It's all about the youth, and it's all about our keeping that legendary moment alive. I'd like for the choir to get ready now, and as they do, remember, it wasn't just riding the bus. It was the water fountains. It was the right to vote. It was equal education. It was equal job opportunity. It was judging you not by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. It was not about individual persons. It was about all people. Justice started right here in Montgomery, Alabama. Director Moore.
Good evening. To our presider, to our elected officials, and to each of you who have come on this evening, December the 1st, 2015, as I sat and listened and heard this wonderful choir sing, and as I saw the elected officials who were standing here and saw so many young people, as a native Montgomeryan, born on Hercules Street, grew up on Jeff Davis and Hill and Day Street. First school attended was Lovelace on Jeff Davis. I couldn't help but think about 60 years ago. None of this could have happened, and Dean took my thunder. Our chairman did it, and he did it much better than I could do it. We had no elected officials who were of color. One of the reasons I moved from Montgomery to Tuskegee in 1964 was because then I saw where I could build a better practice and be able to get to the legislature from Macon, Bullock, and Barber County, and I couldn't have done it in Montgomery at that time. But we've come a long way. And we've come that way as I thought about Mrs. Parks, and as we sat in my office at 113 Monroe Street, where I started off, and as we talked about young people, and Ms. Parks was concerned about youth, she was the director of the Montgomery branch, the youth area, and she taught young folks. She was concerned about what happened to Claudette Carvin, the 15-year-old girl who did what she did, but did it 9 months before. 60 years ago, we could not be here if black people had come out in this street in front of this theater and the other theater that was across the street. We would have been arrested, just like Miss Parks was arrested. But times have changed. The city has changed. What Mrs. Parks did was a culmination of a lot of things that had happened in this city, including what Claudette Carvin did, the 15-year-old girl, and I keep talking about her because we have a lot of people a lot of young folks out here, at least they were, and some of them probably are going home now. But I am delighted, and I want to thank the persons who have been instrumental in getting these young people here, because we need them and they need us. The real reason we are here, boys and girls and young people, is because of you. And I'm glad you were able to stand and see black and white elected officials. And let me say to your parents that next year is an election year. Across this state and across this nation, we will be electing people from city council positions to county school boards, to legislators, congressional persons, senators, and House of Representatives, and a president of the United States. We have been able to gain a great deal by getting the ballot, because when we get and elect people to office, they can appoint other people to office, and they can have good jobs like many of you have now that you didn't have 60 years ago. So we meet here. You've had the privilege of having young people meet. You've had the privilege of having the president of the American Bar Association, over 600,000 members. You've had the privilege of meeting the president of the Minority Bar. They went to Selma and had hoped to be back. Have the lawyers gotten back here yet? I don't think they have made it back. But we were a little late getting started today. But I wanted you to see these lawyers. But before we do that, and I will tell you this, that these young people who are here, I just wish everybody who is under 15, let's come up here a minute. Now, the dean had the elected officials to come up here, but I want these children to come, because they are the ones, everybody who is under 15. And for those up on the stage, if you're under 15, just raise your hands. Just come on up here. These are the men and women who will be our elected and our appointed officials in years to come. Mrs. Parks did what she could do. Joanne Robinson did what she could do. E.D. Nixon did what he could do. Fred Gray did what he could do. The 60,000 African Americans who stayed off of the buses for 382 days did what they could do. The time now is up to these young men and these young ladies. You are why we're here. You're the reason we are talking about this 60th anniversary. You are the ones who will be able to carry the message of Rosa Parks, of Claudette Colvin, of E.D. Nixon, of Fred Gray, and everybody else who have been involved in it. Because when we started, Rosa Parks' case was just one small case. The case of Browder versus Gale, which included the other young ladies, was just one small case. But you'll be able to see on this landmark, historical marker that's going to be unveiled, almost all of the other major lawsuits that have come out and around Montgomery that have helped to make it possible so that we are able to be here tonight and be able to celebrate this 60th anniversary. And while these lawyers have not come, and I did not go to Selma with them because I told them, you may not get back in town, and my responsibility is to be here in my city at this time. I'd made a commitment to MIA, and I'd be here. So I just want us, all of us, let's give a hand to all of these young people, and you can go back. Thank you. Maybe go back now. I wanted to do that because it's so important. You'll be able to read the stories, and there are a lot of books. Randall Williams have been publishing books that we've written, and a lot of them are here, and you need to have them, and you need to read them. If you want to really know all of the background about particularly the Montgomery situation and most of the civil rights cases that you'll read about on the marker, you'll be able to read it in my autobiography, Bus Ride to Justice. Not because it's me, but because it's people in this community and this state who enable a young lawyer to use his skill along with the help of a lot of other people. And they were able to start out solving one problem on the buses, and it mushroomed into electing a president, assisting in electing a president of the United States, and helping to change the world. This marker will show you some of those cases.
Wait.
Thank you.
And now, as we face the marker, we have some more young men, Judge Gray, from Valiant Cross Academy scholars. These young men are handpicked, selected to attend the Valiant Cross Academy, and they are destined to be scholars. They're putting their hands now on the covering of the marker. And say again, please, what you said about the significance of that marker.
The marker that is being unveiled is a very important marker because it doesn't just talk about Rosa Parks or her case, but it talks about all of the other major civil rights cases that have come in and out of Montgomery and this part of our state, which have resulted in helping to change the landscape not only of this nation, but helping to change the world. They will unveil the historical marker.
And they're doing it? Yes! The Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott. There it is.
Shall we go over there?
Yeah. While you view the marker, we will bring Reverend Andrew Thayer from the Church of Ascension to give us a prayer.
Gracious God, we thank you for the life of Rosa Parks. May we see in this sign and symbol of this memorial, in her name, the kind of nation that we can be. We thank you, most abundant God, for the resources of this nation. They make us rich, though we often exploit them. Forgive us. We thank you for the men and women who have made this country strong. Like Rosa Parks, they are models for us, though we often fall short of them. Inspire us. We thank you for the torch of liberty which has been lit in this land. It has drawn people from every nation, though we have often hidden from its light. Enlighten us. We thank you for the faith we've inherited in all its rich variety. It sustains our life. We ask you to finish the good work that has been here begun. Strengthen our efforts to blot out ignorance and prejudice, to abolish poverty and crime, and to hasten the day when all people with many voices in one united chorus, are free and are just. It is in your most gracious name we pray. Amen.
That was Reverend Andrew Thayer, rector of the Church of Ascension. And to each of us, we thank you. To each of you, we thank you. Good night.
Oh, really?